Hello everyone, it's Kamal, and today we're gonna talk about smartphone photography. And before we start, I'd like to divide this video in two parts. The first part is going to be about smartphone camera hardware compared to actual hardware of DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, you know, the glass, the lenses, all these things. And the second part of the video will be a series of tips to take better smartphone pictures. So without further ado, let's get it rolling. Let's start with the basics. In recent years, both smartphone cameras and DSLRs have gone a long way, however in different directions. Whereas consumer cameras and mirrorless cameras and DSLRs have gotten more compact and closer to actual cinema cameras in some cases, smartphone cameras went in a different direction. Smartphones over the last years have been trying to emulate the features of higher end cameras. So stuff like shallower depth of field, for example, have become way more accessible. And what I mean to say essentially is that the margin of difference between a picture from a smartphone and from a camera is getting really thin. And as you can see, I took both of these pictures with my smartphone. But how is that? Well, let's take a step back. A DSLR actually offers a big sensor, like this one, and since it has bigger glass, lens elements, it can offer a quality that smartphones physically just can't touch. But smartphones in the recent years not only started to adopt larger sensors, still smaller than DSLRs, but still an important point, but they also often offer multiple lenses, such as a wide angle and even a telephoto. And this gives smartphones a sort of versatility and edge in your pocket that DSLRs can't offer. And I know lots of people who take insane pictures only using their smartphones. Here are some from my friend Marwan, who you should check out on Instagram, by the way. He's really good. Don't get me wrong, in most cases, a larger camera is gonna do a better job than a smartphone. But if you don't know what you're looking for, and the shot is actually properly taken, the line between a DSLR and a smartphone camera gets really blurry. And this is not only achieved by hardware, but also achieved by software. Take the Google Pixel, for example, who has some of the best edge detection and blurry background application in the market, even though for the longest of times it only had one lens. And it even, in the newer models, offers astrophotography features. This is insane because it's still a smartphone, it fits in your pocket, yet you can still take pictures of the stars. And the newer iPhones with portrait mode not only do a clean cutout, but also create a literal depth map for the phone to make the farther items even more blurry than the closer ones, imitating real lens elements. And this is really smart software we're talking about now. And don't get me wrong, smartphones are no red cameras. But for what they offer and for the versatility they have gotten really good in the last years. But let's not dwell too much, let's move on to the second part, the tips. So the first tip I'm going to give you, which is in my opinion the most important one, is to push your smartphone to the limits, but not go over them. What do I mean? Let's say you're taking the picture of someone with your phone. Absolutely use portrait mode and try it out multiple times, but if the phone struggles to make a cutout of your subject, then just stop. Because a well-executed portrait mode is great, but a wrong-executed portrait mode looks worse than a standard picture. So just experiment, see if the cutout is good around the hair, around maybe the shoulders, where a phone might struggle a bit, and push it. Try, and if it doesn't work, just revert to a standard picture, but still, try. Another important tip I give you would be to edit your pictures, but not in a necessarily extravagant way. More so in a way to kind of take it away from this sort of really sharp and crisp look that smartphones have. Because don't get me wrong, cameras have still more resolution and more megapixels, but they have this sort of distinctive look which doesn't look softer, but looks less digital, less sharp. And taking away this sort of digital sharpness from your phone is a really good way to kind of get away from this smartphone picture. Even going into Lightroom or VSCO, fiddling a bit with the sliders, making it look a bit less sharp and techy, makes it look great. However, my last tip, if you're willing to try a bit of coloring and more extravagant edits, do so, but don't overdo it, because usually this sort of over-edited pictures are often associated with Instagram, and you know, the kind of pictures that your mother would post on Instagram. And this takes away the quality and the overall look of the image even more. So when you're editing your pictures, make sure to not overdo it, keep it clean, keep it sharp, but not overly sharp like smartphone pictures, and you should be good. And with these tips, you can upscale your smartphone photography by a long shot. And this is how I take my smartphone pictures. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have other video ideas, make sure to drop them in the comments down below. Make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out, guys. I'm the one that you should choose.